In the vast, sprawling landscapes of our modern world, dominated by towering structures of concrete and steel, a quiet revolution is taking place. It's a revolution not of protest or noise, but of life itself. Imagine a small patch of land, maybe no bigger than a tennis court, buzzing with the hum of bees and alive with the flutter of birds. This is the magic of a tiny forest, a concentrated burst of wilderness tucked into the corners of our urban spaces. These small but mighty ecosystems are more than just a collection of trees. They're a powerful reminder that nature, given even the smallest chance, will thrive in the most unexpected of places, bringing its extraordinary gifts to our very doorsteps. The need for such green sanctuaries has never been more urgent. As our cities expand, they can often become barren places, landscapes where the natural world has been pushed to the very margins. We find ourselves increasingly disconnected from the rhythms of nature, from the simple, profound joy of watching a leaf unfurl or a beetle scurry across the forest floor. The tiny forest movement seeks to mend this broken connection. It is an invitation to reintroduce the wild into our daily lives, to create living, breathing spaces that cleanse our air, cool our streets, and nourish our souls. It's a wonderfully simple idea with truly profound consequences for the health of our planet and for our own well-being. These miniature woodlands are not merely parks or gardens. They are carefully designed ecosystems, modeled on the complex and wonderful structure of a natural, old-growth forest. They grow with astonishing speed, becoming dense and self-sustaining in a fraction of the time it would take a traditional forest to mature. This rapid growth means their benefits are felt almost immediately. In just a few short years, a barren patch of neglected land can be transformed into a vibrant habitat, a haven for wildlife, and a place of peace and discovery for the local community. It is a testament to the resilience and power of the natural world, a green heartbeat in the concrete jungle. As we stand here today, on the 10th of February 2026, we are faced with a choice. We can continue to build our world in a way that separates us from nature, or we can choose to weave the wild back into the fabric of our cities. The tiny forest offers a beautiful and practical way forward. It demonstrates that we do not need vast wilderness areas to experience the wonders of nature. We can cultivate that wonder right where we are, creating small pockets of life that, together, can form a network of green that revitalizes our cities and reconnects us to the living world we are so privileged to be a part of. Every great movement begins with a single powerful idea. The story of the tiny forest begins not in a city, but deep within the natural forests of Japan. It was there that a brilliant botanist and ecologist named Akira Miyawaki spent his life studying the intricate web of life in what he called native forests. These were the original, undisturbed woodlands of his homeland, ancient ecosystems that had evolved over thousands of years to be perfectly adapted to their local environment. He observed how these forests were incredibly resilient, diverse, and self-sufficient, a complex community where every plant and creature played a vital role in the health of the whole. Dr. Miyawaki was saddened to see these precious native forests disappearing, often replaced by plantations of non-native trees that lacked the richness and resilience of the original ecosystem. He saw trees planted in straight lines, a monoculture that just couldn't support the same diversity of life. This inspired in him a profound question. Could he use his knowledge of these ancient forests to restore nature, not over centuries, but in just a few decades? He believed it was possible. He developed a method to recreate the complexity of a native forest on a small scale, planting a dense and diverse mix of native species that would grow in cooperation, not competition. His method, which would come to be known as the Miyawaki method, was a radical departure from traditional tree planting. Instead of planting saplings far apart, he planted them very close together, just as they would sprout on a natural forest floor. He insisted on using only species that were native to that specific region, ensuring the new forest would be perfectly suited to the local soil and climate. This dense planting encourages the young trees to shoot upwards towards the light, creating a fierce but healthy competition that dramatically accelerates their growth. The result was astonishing. A mature, multi-layered forest ecosystem could be established in just 20 to 30 years. Dr. Miyawaki's vision was not just to plant trees, it was to restore life. He understood that a forest is so much more than a collection of wood. It's a living community, a home for countless insects, birds, and mammals, and a vital system that regulates water, cleanses the air, and enriches the soil. He successfully planted over 1,700 of these forests all across Japan and in many other parts of the world, on everything from factory sites to coastal areas devastated by tsunamis. His work left behind a legacy of green, a powerful and practical method for humanity to help heal the planet, one tiny forest at a time. Our cities are marvelous things, centers of human ingenuity, culture, and connection. They are where millions of us live, work, and build our lives. Yet, in our quest to build these great urban centers, we've often forgotten a fundamental human need: our connection to the natural world. Walk through the center of many large cities, and you'll see a landscape dominated by hard, impermeable surfaces. Concrete pavements, asphalt roads, and glass buildings stretch as far as the eye can see. These materials absorb and radiate the sun's heat, creating what is known as the urban heat island effect, making our cities significantly warmer than the surrounding countryside. This lack of green space has a profound impact not only on the environment, but also on us, the city's inhabitants. Without trees to provide shade and release cooling moisture into the air, our summers become hotter and more uncomfortable. Without soil and root systems to absorb rainwater, heavy downpours can overwhelm our drainage systems, leading to flash floods that damage homes and infrastructure. The air we breathe, filled with pollutants from traffic and industry, lacks the natural filtering system that a healthy canopy of leaves provides. We have, in many ways, engineered nature out of our lives, and we're beginning to feel the consequences of its absence. Beyond these physical impacts, the scarcity of nature in our cities takes a toll on our mental and spiritual well-being. Numerous studies have shown that spending time in green spaces can reduce stress, improve concentration, and boost our overall sense of happiness. The gentle rustle of leaves, the sight of a bird building its nest, the scent of damp earth after rain. These simple sensory experiences have a deeply calming effect on the human mind. When we are deprived of these connections, we can feel more anxious and disconnected. Our cities, for all their excitement, can become places of profound loneliness, starved of the quiet companionship of the living world. The problem is clear. Our cities are thirsty for nature. They need lungs to breathe, sponges to absorb water, and hearts to soothe their inhabitants. This is not simply about making our urban areas look prettier, though that is a welcome side effect. It's about making them more livable, resilient, and healthy for the millions of people who call them home. It's about restoring a vital balance that has been lost, recognizing that we are not separate from nature, but a part of it. The challenge may seem immense, but the solution can begin in a space as small as your own backyard. So what exactly is a tiny forest, and how does one bring this pocket-sized wilderness to life? At its heart, a tiny forest is a dense, fast-growing plantation of native trees and shrubs, designed to mimic the structure and diversity of a natural woodland. It is not a park with manicured lawns and spaced-out trees. Instead, it is a wonderfully chaotic and vibrant tangle of life, a rich, multi-layered ecosystem packed into a small area. The creation process, based on Dr. Miyawaki's pioneering method, is a fascinating blend of ecological science and community effort, a step-by-step dance with nature to accelerate its beautiful work. The first, and perhaps most crucial step, is preparation. One cannot simply place trees in poor, compacted urban soil and expect them to thrive. The ground must be brought back to life. This involves a deep analysis of the soil to understand its composition, and then enriching it with natural organic materials. Compost, manure, rice husks, or other local biomass are mixed into the earth, creating a loose, nutrient-rich and well-aerated bed for the future forest. This meticulous soil preparation gives the young saplings the best possible start in life, providing them with the food and structure they need to grow strong and healthy roots. Next comes the selection of the trees themselves. This is not a random process. It involves careful research to identify the native plant species that would have naturally grown in that specific location before the city was ever built. These are the potential natural vegetation. A diverse mix of these native species is chosen, typically between 30 and 50 different types, including canopy trees, subtrees, shrubs, and ground-covering plants. This diversity is the secret to the forest's resilience and richness. Each species fills a different niche, creating a complex, layered structure that provides a wide variety of food and shelter for wildlife. Finally, with the soil prepared and the saplings chosen, the planting can begin. This is often a joyful community event, where people of all ages come together to put the young trees in the ground. The saplings are planted very densely, with around 3 to 5 trees per square meter. This high density is a key part of the method. It sparks a healthy competition for sunlight, encouraging the trees to grow tall and straight very quickly. It also helps to shade the soil, which suppresses the growth of weeds and retains moisture. Within just 2 to 3 years, the canopy closes, the forest becomes self-sustaining, and a new wilderness is born. The wonderfully simple and effective idea of the tiny forest has captured the imagination of people all around the globe. What began as a scientific method in Japan has, blossomed into a worldwide grassroots movement, with communities, schools, and organizations eagerly transforming neglected urban plots into thriving ecosystems. From the bustling metropolises of Europe to the crowded cities of India, these seeds of change are taking root, proving that nature can flourish anywhere that people are willing to give it a home. Each new forest, no matter how small, becomes a beacon of hope and a testament to the power of local action. In the Netherlands, for instance, a social enterprise called IVN Nature Education has championed the tiny forest concept, helping to plant over 100 of them across the country. These tiny forests, as they call them, are often located in schoolyards, providing children with a natural classroom right outside their window. Here, they can learn about biodiversity, watch the seasons change, and get their hands dirty planting and caring for their local woodland. These forests become invaluable community assets, places where neighbours meet, children play, and everyone can enjoy a moment of peace in a natural setting. The movement has also found fertile ground in the United Kingdom. From London to Glasgow, community groups are identifying small parcels of unused land, a corner of a park, a strip of land beside a railway line, or a neglected housing estate green, and working together to bring them to life. One such project in East London transformed a small, barren piece of grassland into a dense, thriving forest in just a few years. It now serves as an essential stepping stone for wildlife moving through the urban landscape and a cherished green space for local residents who had little access to nature before. Across the world in India, the social entrepreneur Shubhendu Sharma, who once trained with Dr. Miyawaki, has taken the method and adapted it to create hundreds of forests in his home country and beyond. His organization, Aforest, has shown that these tiny forests can be planted in the backyards of homes, on corporate campuses, and on barren industrial land, greening some of the world's most densely populated and polluted urban areas. These examples from different corners of the world show a universal truth. The desire to connect with nature is shared by all of humanity, and the tiny forest provides a beautiful, accessible way to fulfill that desire. The benefits that flow from a single tiny forest are, honestly, remarkably vast and varied, touching everything from the air we breathe to the wildlife that shares our cities. These small patches of wilderness are, powerhouses of positive change, offering a multitude of gifts to both the environment and the human community. Perhaps the most immediate and noticeable benefit is the return of biodiversity. A dense, multi-layered forest of native plants provides an irresistible invitation to a whole host of creatures. Within months, insects, spiders, and other invertebrates arrive, forming the foundation of a new food web. Soon, they are followed by birds, attracted by the promise of food and safe nesting sites. A tiny forest can become a vital sanctuary for native and migratory birds, a safe harbour in a vast sea of concrete and glass. Small mammals, such as hedgehogs or voles, may also find a home in the dense undergrowth, protected from predators and the dangers of the city. For many urban areas that have become biological deserts, the tiny forest acts as a crucial stepping stone, a link in a chain of green spaces that allows wildlife to move through the landscape, increasing the genetic diversity and resilience of urban animal populations. Beyond providing a home for wildlife, these forests are exceptional environmental workhorses. The dense canopy of leaves acts as a natural air filter, trapping dust and absorbing pollutants like carbon dioxide, nitrogen oxides, and particulate matter from the air we breathe. A mature tiny forest can absorb a significant amount of carbon, helping to mitigate the effects of climate change on a local scale. The trees also provide cooling shade and release water vapor through a process called transpiration, which can lower the ambient temperature in the immediate vicinity by several degrees, combating the urban heat island effect and making our cities more comfortable places to live during hot weather. Furthermore, a tiny forest is a wonderful natural sponge. The loose, rich soil and the complex network of roots are incredibly effective at absorbing rainwater. During heavy storms, instead of the water running off hard surfaces and overwhelming drainage systems, it is captured by the forest, where it is slowly filtered and released back into the ground or the atmosphere. This dramatically reduces the risk of local flooding and helps to recharge groundwater supplies. In a single small patch of land, we find a solution to air pollution, climate change, biodiversity loss, and flood risk. A truly remarkable return on a small investment of space. Sometimes the most powerful ideas are also the simplest. The science behind why tiny forests are so beneficial can be understood through a few simple, wonderful truths about how nature works. Think of a tiny forest as a city's natural air conditioning and purification system. A single large tree can have the cooling effect of 10 room-sized air conditioners running for 20 hours a day. Now, imagine a dense forest of hundreds of trees working together. They create a cool, refreshing microclimate, a natural oasis on a hot summer's day. It is a simple gift of shade and moisture, something we can all appreciate. Another simple fact is that these forests grow incredibly fast. Because of the special way they are planted, a tiny forest can grow up to 10 times faster than a conventional, single-species plantation. In just 3 years, you can have a dense, walkable woodland where once there was only bare earth. This rapid growth means we don't have to wait a lifetime to see the benefits. A child who helps plant a tiny forest can watch it grow taller than them in just a few years. A powerful and tangible connection to the process of growth and change in the natural world. It's nature on fast forward. Let's talk about life. A tiny forest is not just a group of trees, it's a bustling community. It has been found that a mature tiny forest, created with the Miyawaki method, can support up to 20 times more biodiversity than a nearby park with a mown lawn. This means more butterflies, more bees to pollinate our flowers, more ladybirds to eat aphids, and more birds to fill the air with song. It's a simple equation. More different types of native plants lead to more different types of insects, which in turn leads to more different types of birds and other animals. It's a complete living system in miniature. And what about us? The effect on our happiness is just as real. Spending just 20 minutes in a natural space like a tiny forest can significantly lower your levels of the stress hormone, cortisol. The colours, sounds and smells of a forest have a calming effect on our brains. It provides a free and accessible place for people to relax, reflect and reconnect with something larger than themselves. This isn't magic, it's a simple biological response. We evolved in nature, and our minds and bodies still crave that connection. A tiny forest provides that vital dose of nature right where we need it most. When a tiny forest is planted, something truly magical begins to unfold. It is more than just the growth of trees. It is the awakening of an entire ecosystem. The first year is one of quiet establishment, as the young saplings focus their energy on sending roots deep into the newly enriched soil. But even then, the first pioneers of the animal kingdom begin to arrive. Earthworms and beetles work tirelessly beneath the surface, aerating the soil. Pollinators like bees and hoverflies, drawn by the first flowers on the young shrubs, begin to visit, their buzzing presence a sign of life returning. By the second and third year, the transformation is dramatic. The trees, locked in their race for the sun, shoot upwards, their leaves and branches beginning to intertwine. The canopy starts to close, creating a new, shaded world beneath. This shade is crucial. It suppresses the weeds that would have competed with the saplings and helps to keep the soil moist and cool. It is at this stage that the forest truly begins to feel like a forest. A rich layer of fallen leaves, known as leaf litter, starts to build up on the ground, creating the perfect damp, sheltered habitat for fungi, woodlice, and centipedes. This developing forest floor becomes a banquet for new arrivals. Song thrushes can be seen expertly flicking through the leaves in search of snails, while robins and wrens dart through the dense undergrowth, hunting for insects. The variety of plants provides a continuous source of food throughout the seasons. Flowers for nectar in spring and summer, and berries and seeds in autumn and winter. The dense thicket of branches offers countless safe and sheltered places for birds to build their nests, hidden from the prying eyes of predators. The forest becomes a nursery, a larder, and a fortress for urban wildlife. What we are witnessing is the reassembly of a natural community, the return of a symphony of life. Each new species that arrives adds another instrument to the orchestra. The hum of the insects, the rustle of a small mammal in the undergrowth, the chorus of birdsong at dawn, these are the sounds of a healthy, functioning ecosystem. A place that was once silent and barren is now filled with the music of nature. This symphony is a powerful reminder that even in the heart of our busiest cities, the wild is waiting for its chance to return, ready to enrich our world with its beauty and complexity. The story of the tiny forest is, above all, a story of hope. It shows us that the challenges facing our planet, which can often feel overwhelmingly large, can be met with actions that are small, local, and wonderfully effective. We do not need to wait for governments or large corporations to act. The power to re-green our cities and restore a piece of the natural world lies, quite literally, in our own hands. The beauty of this movement is its accessibility. Anyone, anywhere, can become a part of it and make a tangible, lasting difference to their local environment. You may not have land to plant a forest yourself, but you can support the movement in many ways. You can connect with local environmental groups in your area and volunteer for a community planting day. These events are filled with a spirit of joyful collaboration, bringing neighbors together for a common purpose. The experience of digging into the earth, of placing a young tree into its new home, is profoundly rewarding. It is an act of creation, an investment in a greener, healthier future that you will be able to watch grow and flourish for years to come. If there are no projects near you, perhaps you can be the one to start one. Look at your community with new eyes. Is there a neglected corner in a local park? A forgotten strip of land by a school or a community centre? These are all potential sites for a future forest. You can talk to your local council, your school's head teacher, or your neighbours. You can share the story of the tiny forest and inspire others with the vision of what that small patch of land could become. A haven for wildlife, a natural playground for children, and a place of peace for all. Every single tree planted makes our world a little wilder, a little cooler, and a little more alive. The journey of 1,000 forests begins with a single sapling. Today, on the 10th of February 2026, let us choose to be part of this hopeful story. Let us be the generation that invites nature back into our cities. Let us get our hands dirty, plant trees, and cultivate these magical tiny forests. In doing so, we give a priceless gift to wildlife, to our communities, and to all the future generations who will find joy, peace, and wonder beneath the branches of the forests we plant today.